were down to the end. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind if this doesn't work, we're done. There's no more expansion. They didn't want to come to Milwaukee. They were going to find other markets. And this was, we were lucky. Seattle couldn't find a buyer. And it was, 5.5 years was really tough. But that night was just, I can still remember, I was overcome. Oh my goodness.
That's a good point. There were people in baseball, I think it was former Commissioner Eckert, who said if Milwaukee wants baseball, it can go to Chicago for it after the Braves had left. Bowie Kuhn, the commissioner at the time, was one of the lawyers that helped Bill Bartholomew move the Braves to Atlanta.
Oh, that's true.
You had people that didn't want this city to have a second chance.
There's no question about it. For whatever reason, they were mad because county and state had sued them. We had no other choice. And that was 1964. It started 65, 66. We got to the state Supreme Court in 67 and lost there 4-3. And it was a painful period.
Yeah, you were paying for the sins of others. I mean, there were a lot of bad, nasty things that were said both ways, but some out of Milwaukee, too, from some politicians at the time.
Right.
You can almost understand why Major League Baseball was like, oh, yeah, well, to hell with you. You're not getting a team if that's your attitude about us.
Well, that's true. There's no question. They would do everything they can to keep the team out. Now, once we got it, it was different. Bowie became a great friend, and I think in a certain sense there were some people who fought us but knew it was wrong. And so once we got in, I would say this, not only did the anger disappear, but they couldn't have been more friendly.
That was a bad team you inherited from Seattle.
No, they were bad. We were an expansion team. In those days, expansion was a painful process for everybody. I think I underestimated was the anger towards baseball by the Milwaukee fans. And they were right. They were right to have anger.
Yeah, what were the fans angry about?
Because their team had taken away from them. They were bitter. And the way it went, the way it was taken. They were angry, Gene. Angry.
At the end of that 1970 season, year one is in the books, final out is made. What did you know then that you didn't know on opening day that April?
That we had a front office that needed a complete restructuring. We had inherited from Seattle, and I knew then that if we were going to do the things that I wanted to do, we weren't going to do it with this group.
So you made the purge in the offseason?
Yes.
Took some time for your team to get some traction, but it worked out in the end. By the end of the 70s, you had a powerhouse.
You know, it was really interesting. You know, I'm proud of that when you think about it. And we had several front office changes. Harry Dalton came in 1977. But in the meantime, through some good drafting and good work, Jim Baumer did a good job. Charlie Moore came on. Robin Yount came after the 73 season. You know, by 1978, Harry was here. George Bamberger, maybe my favorite all-time baseball personality. Paul Molitor had been our first-round draft choice in 77. So along with Charlie Moore, Gorman Thomas, who had gone around and around. And we had gotten Cecil Cooper in a trade, my only trade I ever made. Bambi did a sensational job. And slowly but surely built it up. In 78, we won 93 games. In 79, we won 95 games. Didn't win either year, but we were good.